Ronnie Grant's here with you alongside Tommy Krysan. TK coming to you on this Friday from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I am here in Savannah, Georgia at the Savannah Bananas ballpark. Tonight, the Savannah Bananas will be in action taking on their bitter rivals, the team, the Party Animals. That'll be tonight, barring weather. I brought the rain with me as soon as the plane landed. Since I've been in Savannah, it's been raining. But I think we're going to hopefully get this one in today. Over here at the ballpark, meeting with some of the Savannah Banana officials. We'll tell you plenty more about that in a little bit. But TK joining us from Tremonti's today. We're always presented by LeBear's Casino. TK, this was as far as LSU is concerned, the line hasn't moved like you thought it would. It's only a 3-point line. LSU 3-point favorite. It's been holding. I think some of that has to do with the fact that there hasn't been a quarterback named officially. On the other side, the over-under line has moved 1.5 points. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the over-under is down to 50. It was at 51.5 is what it opened up. I'm surprised. I was wrong that it would move higher than 3. I locked it in at 3 back on Monday. I'm a little surprised, I guess, because of the new coach, new coaching staff, transfer portal, so many new guys, a lot of talent on LSU. I think the wise guys, as well as the national media, just waiting to see what happens. And what's good about Sunday night, they're unopposed. There's no other game on some other channel.
Right.
It's the spotlight on LSU, Florida State from the Superdome, and we're going to have a better reading. We'll see who the quarterback is. Don't know if they'll announce it that morning, or we got to wait till somebody trots out there. We'll have to wait and see, but a little surprised that line didn't move. There's a lot of big, close games with ranked teams this weekend, so maybe not a lot of money pouring in early on any game to move the line.
All right, so but this week, giant week in the world of college football. There's a lot of things that are happening. Today we expect, potentially some big news coming out of college football, particularly when it comes to the playoffs. But there's other news as well.
Yeah, there really is. They're going to put some windows on the transfer portal. You're not going to be able to enter 365 days a year.
That's good.
Some things with that. That's really good. Everybody said they needed that, like the day after the portal was invented. And it took them, how long to get to that? Things move slow, I guess. But so I think that's good for everybody involved, particularly the coaches, the schools, the teams, and then the recruiting staffs who, as we've talked about, Ronnie, you got to recruit the new players, transfer portal. You got to recruit your guys to make sure they don't go to the transfer portal. So, a lot of moving parts here. So, good to see some structure coming in. Should have all been done in advance. We know that, but hindsight's 20/20, and it wasn't done in advance. So now we'll see what happens.
So, tell us, Tommy, about so there's going to be some dates, right? There's going to be some dates where players are going to be able to transfer. What are those periods of time? And then the other thing is this had to happen, right? The coaches were almost being held hostage. You yell at a player at practice, he doesn't play that week in a game, whatever the case may be. He may run home and transfer on Monday morning, and that's just ridiculous. Cooler heads need to prevail. There's a travel baseball rule, and I know you know this because you've done that, the little league stuff, where if somebody has an issue, they have to wait 48 hours or 24 hours or whatever after the game ends in order to bring it up, whether it be a parent or a player. Because a lot of times you're a hothead and you might say some things you regret. That's the case with this transfer portal. The way it is now, guys are being, coaches are have to watch their P's and Q's 24/7. If a guy gets upset this week or this month because he's not playing as much as he'd like, he can leave. Now, at least, there's going to be, 2 times throughout the year?
Yeah, one of the windows is May 1 to 15, kind of like after spring practice is done. And just about every team is done by May 1st. If things didn't work out in spring practice, you fell down the depth chart, whatever. You thought that's going to be one. The other one's going to be like a December, January window, a little bigger than 15 days. And that'll be a time when you can enter. And I think it's good for a lot of reasons. Like you said, you yell at a guy and then you as it is now, the player doesn't even have to tell the coach he's going to the portal. The coach finds out about it the next morning when he picked his phone up. He didn't have a chance to talk to the kid like, hey, man, are you sure? Don't do this. We got these plans for you. But, man, so anyway, I think it's good that they're putting some structure there, even though it's after the fact. It should have been a while ago.
They still haven't addressed the issue of players being eligible right away. And I'm okay with the portal from a standpoint of I think there definitely has to be times where the portal, you can go in the portal and when you can't. But at the same time, Tommy, another issue is, if you're able to just transfer consistently, I mean, you might be moving every 6 months. I mean, the next step needs to be that there needs to be restrictions on eligibility, like maybe a one-time pass where, all right, one time you can, transfer and be eligible right away. And then after that, you need to sit out a year. I think that's the next move. I'm glad they're making the portal not 365, but I think the next step is they need to figure out that rule, because it's still going to be crazy.
Two sides of that. One, Ronnie, there was a kid that was at Tennessee for 18 days, like in August. That was his third school because of the transfer portal, and he was at Tennessee like 18 days. I had enough. Now, here's the flip side of that coin. The guys who keep transferring, it's because they can't get on the field. They're not good enough. We all face that day when we're not good enough anymore. I don't care who you are or what sport. So, I think it's kind of like, why'd the kid end up at junior college? Maybe he wasn't good enough, or maybe he didn't have the grades. Well, the transfer portal is going to kind of correct itself over time that, not everybody goes in the portal is going to find this new rah-rah place to go play football at. And I think the more guys see that, the more they might say, well, I better stick where I'm at. I got the scholarship, work a little bit harder, and maybe I can crack into the lineup.
I definitely think that that has to be addressed sooner rather than later. And then the other thing, too, there needs to be more education to these players about the portal, because there's too many guys in the portal that are at home right now. I mean, especially in college baseball. It's just going in the portal doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to land somewhere. You have to have a place to go. It's almost like a chicken and the egg. Do I go in the portal first and then find a place, or do I find a place first and I go in the portal? But anyway, the news today that we could be hearing is that they could be expanding the playoffs. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, there's going to be a vote today to talk about going to 12 teams. Originally, they were talking about putting it in 2025. Now they're trying to put it in 2024, which might be about the earliest you can put it in. Now, everybody's hair is on fire because everybody's got contracts with bowl games and the college football playoff and that little rotation thing. Like, the Sugar Bowl gets a playoff game every so often. It gets a semifinal, then you get a title game. Well, you know what? The contracts get torn up and ripped up every day of the week, all across the sports world, all across the business world. And nothing that can't be changed these days, especially with the immediacy of the internet. It can be done. So I wouldn't worry about that. There's going to be a vote today of the college presidents. There's like 11 presidents that are going to vote to recommend what they think should happen. Then, of course, the NCAA will have to approve it. So it's a step in the direction to the bigger playoff that everybody has been saying for years. It's coming. We just don't know exactly when.
Look, some of these conferences are going to go away. Some of these contracts, you're going to have a buyout. It is what it is. I am concerned. Who knows what I think it's one thing is for sure they're going to expand the playoff. I think that's a done deal that's going to happen. I think the question just becomes how many teams and exactly when will it start. I think that's the only thing that we don't know, and maybe we'll know that by the end of the day. I think most likely they'll probably say, all right, we're going to have X amount of teams, and then they'll figure out over the coming weeks and months as to when they can get started. They're going to have to probably work through some contracts and try to figure out some settlements. But this is a good thing. The question becomes, how many spots does the SEC get? How many spots does the Big Ten get? Does the Big Ten and the SEC get as many spots as the ACC or the Big 12? Come on, that shouldn't happen, right? It almost should be like the winner of the West and the winner of the East automatically go to the playoffs. I think anybody would agree with that. Maybe the same for the Big Ten. And then from there, every other conference gets one. I think that's probably, the biggest haggling point is who gets brought to the dance. And, oh, by the way, how do we work Notre Dame into it? That's always an issue.
Well, that's not going to be a short meeting, I can tell you that. That one's going to go round and round maybe for months, okay? Not hours, but maybe months. But, and they're still talking about having two super conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC. So that's a lot of balls in the air. We just got to wait for some of them to start landing. I think the reports say they're shooting for 12 teams. Now, they haven't said yet, like you addressed, Ronnie, how many from the SEC, how many from the Big Ten, et cetera. They haven't done that yet, but sooner or later that's got to get sorted out because – and then here's the thing. Just like we got 4 teams now, that 5th team's always, their hair's on fire. They can't believe they got left out. Well, the 13th team's hair's going to be on fire. They can't believe they get left out. If you put 64 teams in, the 65th team's going to be feeling left out. So That's just the way it goes. Hopefully, it makes college football bigger and better.
Right.
College football's, there's a lot of passionate fans. I mean, the backyard brawl last night, West Virginia Pitt, that stadium was packed. What a football game. Tennessee Stadium was packed for the kickoff. Now, they emptied out because Tennessee just rolled all over Ball State. So I'd be curious to watch the actual attendance this year and at Tiger Stadium. They play Southern next week, in a week and a half, and that's going to be pretty, if not full, it's going to be close to full. But there's a lot of balls in the air in the world of college football. Playoffs, you still got conference realignment, transfer portal. Oh, by the way, NIL. I mean, gee. You're going to need like 15 people on the athletic department staff just for college football.
Over here at
Wow, that looks great.
Historic Grayson Stadium. It's for Banana Ball. It's going to be tonight. By the way, you can watch it tonight on ESPN Plus on the app. Interesting thing. Been in conversation with the Bananas. They're going on a world tour. They're going to play about 30 games at home between February and September next year, and then they're also going to play probably about 30 on the road in 2023. That schedule is pretty much set. So the conversations I'm having with them is to see if we couldn't possibly get the Savannah Bananas to Louisiana, either at LSU or UL potentially in 24, and be maybe an emergency backup in 23 if a spot opens up. But how about this? Every ticket over here for Savannah Bananas baseball, Tommy, every ticket sold comes with complimentary hot dogs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches. They have a veggie burger. They got popcorn, chips. They even have a small bag of cookies and your choice of Coke or water. Every ticket comes with an all-you-can-eat kind of package, if you will. Pretty interesting.
All you can eat?
All you can eat, Coach.
Where's Barry Spears?
Whew, boy, he would crush them. Now, they do sell some other things. They have nachos and other things they can sell. But that was pretty a big surprise to me when I found that out, that they moved to that model. Obviously, you charge a little more for the ticket, but there's a portion of that concession stand board that's all you can eat. Now, they sell beer, and they've got other things here that you can buy, Dippin' Dots and nachos and all these other things, French fries and all that. But, I was thinking about it from a Rougarou standpoint.
Ronnie, we got a question. I know you can't see the questions on your phone, but Chance wants to know, where are you eating tonight in Savannah?
Well, I'm not. I'm going to eat at the ballpark is where I'm going to eat. It comes with my
all
ticket.
You can eat. Ronnie's in.
Coach, I'm going to keep.
All right, Ronnie jumped away for what area is back?
From 10 to noon. We're going to be over at Calandro's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge tomorrow between 10 and noon. I'll give you the update, Tom.
Is that the Calandro's on Perkins, right?
Perkins and Segan will be at that one. And I'll give you the update on what I had. I'm going to keep track. Over the course of a 2-hour baseball game, I'll probably get here an hour before first pitch. So I'll be in the ballpark at least 3 hours. I'll give you a rundown of exactly what because I'm going to try a lot of things. I want to try everything. Let's see how good it is and see what we can take some ideas we can get over here with the Rougarou. But anyway, I'm over here. But I did have a great meal last night in Savannah, Georgia. I went to 2 different restaurants that were highly recommended. I couldn't tell you the name off the top of my head.
Wait. Time out. You went to 2 different restaurants?
2 different ones.
So you had dinner twice?
Well, yeah, kind of. I went and had a drink at one and had like 2 appetizers. I had a pork belly and an appetizer, which was amazing. And then I had a deviled eggs, which I love deviled eggs. I had deviled eggs, and then I had a cocktail. And then about an hour and a half later, I went to a different place, and I had some scallops with like a risotto and all that. Really, really good. I had to try a couple different things, Tommy. By the way, Savannah, great town, man. Beautiful, beautiful town. Reminds me a lot of New Orleans. Got the old oaks. Really, really cool town. I'll be back. I'll be coming back here to visit with the Bananas in a couple of months. Actually, going to bring some staff here. And these guys are unbelievable story. If you don't know, go online, download the ESPN app. There's a show called Banana Land. It's a 5-part documentary. They've already aired 3 of them. The 3rd one came out this morning at midnight. Each of the last 3 Fridays, they've released an hour-long documentary about the making of Banana Ball. These guys have been playing baseball here since 2016. So it's an amazing story. There's no place in the country as popular as Savannah Banana Baseball, and they're going on a world tour next year. They're going to play 60 dates in 6 months, 7 months, and we're hoping one day in either 23 or 24 to get them to Louisiana.
Ronnie, I want to be part of the staff that comes on that trip. I need to meet with their announcing guys. See if I can get better.
I tell you what, it's pretty cool over here what they do, man. It's an amazing story. They started out with like about 4 full-time staff members. Now they're rocking and rolling. You can watch the game tonight on ESPN Plus. This is an old ballpark over here.
How many people? How many does that stadium hold?
About 4,000. About 4,000.
Okay, I was curious.
4,000. Where Goldsby about 1,500 max is about what you can do over there. But great ballpark over here. It's a great story, and I look forward to telling you all about it tomorrow on Sports Shorts Radio. Myself, Tommy, Hunter. We'll have Derry Beckwith will join us hour number 2. We'll be over at in Baton Rouge at Calandros on Perkins and Segan. By the way, go by Barstool Sportsbook inside LeBears Casino and place your bets for this weekend. We're not going to talk about last night. Went 0-3 last night on my picks. Not happy about that. Going to have to find. I have to go to Meat and Potatoes USA because my source didn't come through for me yesterday. But I did load up heavy on LSU -3. I loaded up heavy on the Saints over 8.5 on the win total this year, and I loaded up heavy on LSU over 6.5 win total this year. So those are my 3 predictions before the season gets cranked up.
All right, man. I hit on Tennessee last night. Small bet, like we talked the other day. I had to lay 35.5. It all worked out, and
didn't even sweat it. 35.5. They dominated.
No. First quarter, I knew that was going to cover. That was one of them in the rocking chair. I was in the rocking chair last night.
By the way, JT Daniels looked good last night, I thought, for West Virginia. What'd you think?
I didn't see a lot of that when I was watching Tennessee flipping back and forth, but I read a lot of stuff that he really looked good. And the funniest one, there was a meme says, "Wow, if Georgia would have played Daniels last year, they'd won the national title." Oh, wait a minute, they did win the national title.
So JT
Daniels, Savannah, you're in Savannah. Are that a lot of Bulldog fans there?
A lot of Bulldog, but also a lot of South Carolina because Columbia is not very far either.
Okay.
But I'll say this, and Georgia Southern's, right nearby. But as far as JT Daniels concerned, he should have won the game. I mean, he was on the plus side of the field, driving, put the ball right on his receiver, who unbelievably dropped it, and pick 6 the other way, and they lose by 7. But JT Daniels deserved to win. I kind of wish he would have won because I took Pittsburgh -7.5. So if I'm going to lose the bet, Pittsburgh, you cost me. You should have lost. But anyway, JT Daniels going to do good things with West Virginia, no question about it. And what an amazing story, right? Guy allegedly reports are he got $1 million or more to go to Georgia last year, and ended up not even being the starting quarterback when they won the national championship. So now he's over at West Virginia. I don't like their new helmets, Tommy. They got the state of West Virginia on the side of their helmet. Doesn't look good. I
like the all white look though. I like the white.
I like the all white
helmet, jersey, pant. I thought that looked good. But the helmet was a little busy.
The state looks like a blob. Like it doesn't look. It looks just like a blob, like an ink blob on the side of their helmet. So, anyway, all right, we'll be back tomorrow morning for more Sports Shorts Radio from 10 to noon over at Calandros Supermarket in Baton Rouge. Special thanks to LeBears Casino. No better place to go place your action all weekend long than over at LeBears 24/7, 365. Tell us before we get out of here, Tommy, about Tremonti's.
Well, look, I got it right here, Ryan. The Swamp Buckets. They got them here for sale. Best price in town, swampbuckets.com. They've been selling them like crazy here at Tremonti's. Lunch special today, fried catfish with the crawfish etouffee on top. And don't forget, before you bet this weekend, you got the QR code on the screen, meatandpotatoesusa.com, meatandpotatoesusa.com. Anthony Gallo hit his pick last night. He had West Virginia +8. That's what was posted, and he got that one right. We got Stephen Miller's already got picks posted. Trey Blossman and I will have some up later tonight. For the weekend, meatandpotatoesusa.com. And, of course, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, Parkview Baptist, right down the street from Parkview Baptist on Jefferson Highway. Hopefully you can stop by soon. Get everything you need for Labor Day. A lot of people off of work, the steaks, the sausage, short ribs. I mean, they got it all here at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood.
All right, Tommy, we'll see you tomorrow morning over in Baton Rouge at Calandros. Until then, everybody have a great one.
Thank you, Ronnie.